Domestic involvement goes, this year's tour marks a sort of passing of the torch, or maybe passing of the water bottle would be more apt, because while all the media attention has been on Chris Boardman's first Tour de France, Sean Yates, the only other Englishman in the race, has quietly announced that it'll be his last. The headlines could be contemporary, but back in 1980 it was a Sussex boy, not a Scouser, who was getting all the attention. In the 14 years since then, though, Sean Yates has made a living out of making a name for other riders. Motorola rate him as one of the world's elite domestiques. Occasionally, though, he does take time off to ride for himself, most memorably in the 1988 Tour, when he broke away for a stage win in Vascal. The 10 tours have taken their toll on the Yates legs, and the superstar of sacrifice has decided 11 will be enough.
Even now, I'm like at this race and I'm thinking, the bloody Tour de France game, now going to be 3 weeks of suffering. It's one of those things you know you have to do it, but at the same time you hate it. And in a way, I'm looking forward to it being my last one. And I have to ride it, and I'm happy to ride it in England. It's a bit sort of like a lap of honour, I feel like, almost. But obviously, I want to be good in this tour and pull my weight like I have done in previous years.
Even more so because the Stage 4 route goes through his old Ashdown Forest training grounds to Brighton, where among the crowd, his baby son Liam will be at his first Tour de France. He'll be able to say that he saw his dad ride the Tour.
I don't know whether he'll remember that, because he's only 8 months old, but, you know, it was going to be great. And my parents are going to be on the forest, where I used to train and where I used to race. So it's going to be a day, and, hopefully I've got some good legs so I can get up the front and show my face.
There's not much room for sentiment in cycling. And for this tour, just like the other 10, Sean's main job will be supporting his team's stars. But a farewell flourish is by no means out of the question.
I never predict that I'm going to win a stage in any of my victories. I've never predicted them. I just wait, and sometimes the chance comes, and hopefully I'll be able to take it.
It'd be nice if it was in England.
It would be.
And he's signing in this morning, Sean Yates. What a marvellous occasion for him, riding his 11th Tour de France. I bet he never dreamt he would one day ride the Tour de France, which will travel today within 3 miles of his home in Forest Row in Sussex. Happy smiles for Sean Yates, and in the background there, the former World Pursuit champion Hugh Porter welcoming him into the grounds of Dover Castle. Thanks, Gary, and I know that all the people here have come to see this man alongside me now. Just about 15 minutes to go, Sean, but they're all here to welcome you, aren't they?
Yeah, it's great. I've always had a good support from people from England. They've often come over to watch the tour, and this is a great opportunity for them to see it again, and they don't have to travel.
Now, they tell me Mum and Dad will be just down the end of the road today. Are you going to hope the riders will let you go ahead and say hi?
Yeah, you never know. It's only 50 kilometres from the finish, so they could be racing quite hard. But if they're not, then I'm definitely going to take the opportunity and stop and say hello, and it should be fun.
Now, I know you hate predicting, but are you going to try to win the stage today?
It's very hard. It's very hard in the finals here, and I've had pretty good legs, so I might have a dig and wait and see.
Okay, well, the very best of luck, Sean, because I know everybody is going to really support you on the road today, and I expect that we'll see your name shouted above the rest of them. Well, the very best of luck to Sean Yates.
Well, I'm down on the start line here in Portsmouth. It's an incredible atmosphere, really. Sean Yates was the man of the match yesterday. Sean, what was it like? Did you expect to see crowds like that on British soil?
No, I knew there was going to be a lot of people, I think, because the organisers worked very hard in letting it be known that the tour was coming through, but I never imagined that would be that many. It was unbelievable.
When you started your career 11 Tour de France's ago, did you ever think that you could actually ride the Tour de France here?
Never even dreamt it. It's amazing.
What were the crowds like yesterday? You were shouted all the way along the road. There were some fantastic sights. What about the chance of seeing your parents?
Yeah, that was great. I mean, over the years, there's a few riders who've been able to do that when they're going for their hometowns, but I never believed that I'd, especially early in the race, normally they race pretty hard, but the situation was good for me, and I asked the yellow jersey, he said no problem, so I got a little lead and stopped and said hello.
That was an incredible thing for you, Sean.
Then, after politely refusing the offer of a small stuffed animal as company, Sean rode into what turned out to be a 125-mile standing ovation. In line with peloton tradition, Sean was allowed away to lead the bunch into Ashdown Forest, a couple of miles from his home, where his mum and dad were waiting for him. The peloton may extend courtesies, but it doesn't extend them for very long. And after the short sentiment break, the race was back on. Up ahead at the stage finish in Brighton, two more fans with a special interest in the day were waiting. Where's your dad, Liam?
At the front, we hope.
I'm not sure Liam's paying too much attention, but it's nice for him to be here, isn't it, for his dad's last tour?
Yes, very nice. I mean, it's obviously nicer probably for Sean because Liam won't remember it. But I'm videoing it all on TV and Liam can see it when he's older.
Posterity was available in still form for the Yates family too. And just in case the professionals messed it up, Grandad was wielding the VHS. Come 5 o'clock, the glances were getting anxious. 2 minutes past, first circuit. 15, second circuit, the end of an East Sussex boys' home guide, and time for a family union.
Thank you. Thank you.
Inevitably, it was a brief one, though, because local boy or not, Sean had to get back to the team hotel and prepare to do it all again in Portsmouth.
Okay, Bobby, see you later. Bye.
Riders wear a yellow jersey. There he is, the animal. He's on the front. He will bury himself now all the way over the last kilometre.
So Bortolami has pulled off the surprise that will give him the stage win, and that is superb for Mappai and for Bortolami and for Italy, of course. But Sean Yates will continue to chase right to the line. He'll be passed by all of them, probably because of his commitment to get time, but that's okay. We want to see a gain of 37 seconds for Sean to be the yellow jersey tonight. And we're looking at the clock starting on Sean, of course, not on Bortolami. Look at the time today, 7 hours in the saddle, but Abdu Jafarov has had to go for second place now. He closes it in. Bortolami is hanging on, but he'll hang on just about enough. Abdu Jafarov is leading out as Yates tries to hang on to get the same time. As Bortolami comes to the line and takes it, the clock starts. And then second, Abdu Jafarov. Third is Zeeberg. And now, about 4 seconds till those guys came over the line. And now we're looking for 40 seconds on the clock. I think it's going to be desperately close as they swing up towards the finishing straight now. Sean Yates is going to be very, very close to the yellow jersey. He needs about 40 seconds, I think, on the clock because he didn't get a time bonus. It's going to be, I think, just not quite enough. As the sprinters come up to the line, it looks like Fontanelli leading them up to the line. Oh, it's going to be close. If it's 40 seconds, I think Yates is going to be in yellow. He's done it, surely. Sean Yates is the new leader of the Tour de France. It is unbelievable as they cross the line with Jan Verserada taking the sprint. 46 seconds on the window here, and I think that means Sean Yates leads the Tour de France, and I do not believe it.
Sean, you've done it. You've got the yellow jersey. How do you feel, man?
Happy.
Unbelievable. Sean, after such a long career.
Yeah, just shows you. And I know it's the fat lady thing.
You've had 2 hard days in England. The pressure has been there. What happened today? How come you were just sort of relieved?
Yeah, I mean, last 2 days it's been difficult to concentrate on the race. You know, with all the crowds and that. Yellow! No, I got yellow! So, you know, today I had good legs and it was going hard and the GBs ran out of gas, I think. And I just went.
So a great win for Gianluca Bortolami. He outwitted the sprinter Jamaluddin Abdu Jafarov, crossing the line 2 seconds ahead of him. Beat Zeeberg, taking 3rd place. Sean Yates crossed the line in 6th position, and it's all confirmed. Sean Yates, the new leader of the Tour de France, by a single second ahead of Gianluca Bortolami. Johan Museo is 3rd, Frankie Andreo 4th, Flavio Vanzella, the leader throughout Great Britain, is now in 5th place. On the podium and taking his first ever maillot jaune, Sean Yates, and he looks completely perplexed. Now let's go back to Sean, who's rejoined Paul Sherwin.
Sean, you've had some beautiful days in your life. What's this one like?
I mean, there's not many people who had the yellow jersey in the Tour, so I've got to be really happy.
Has it got something to do with the fact that the Tour was in England? Were you want to hide from that?
No, I mean, I've had good form this year, and it was, I mean, the Tour in England was great, but it really didn't feel so much like the Tour, you know, because of the people shouting for me and this, and it was difficult to concentrate on the race. And today we, you know, up until now the race has been hard, but not so hard, and the GBs had to work pretty hard. And you know, when we went away, it was just on strength, and all the guys in front were really strong. So
did you realise that the GB were under pressure, because they've controlled the race very well since the team time trial?
Yeah, I mean, they've worked hard, so you know they've got to get tired one day, and if you've been sitting on the wheels the whole time, you've got to have an advantage. And like I said, it went on when all the strong boys were in front, so you know we all rode together apart from Hepner.
When did you realise you were going to get the yellow jersey?
I never really realised, because you know we were slowing down a bit at the end, but when I saw the lead was at 1:20, I knew I had 34 seconds only, so I guessed I knew the peloton would catch a bit at the end, but we just hung on.
Fantastic tour for the British riders, Sean.
Yeah.
A quick message for the wife at home and Liam?
Yeah, I love you both.